And we will start with Dan Savage.
Cliff, after the day in between, how did you feel the team's focus was today, and how did camp go?
I thought we had, again, the energy was good. We were much better defensively today. Like watching the film from Monday, we are way ahead offensively to where our defense is. And I think a lot of that, again, is it's just going to take some time. It'll be interesting to play on Friday because, again, like I would say that we're probably close to, in terms of like rhythm and guys being able to react and anticipate and just read the game. This is almost like, to me, like when they're playing pickup in September and stuff. And so, again, I like the way we're doing camp. I like the way they're responding. There's very little details right now, but guys are playing hard, and it's just going to take some time.
H. Sirkowski.
Yeah, can you hear me, Steve?
I sure can.
Thank you. I'm Herb Sirkowski. I'm with the Montreal Gazette in Canada. Sorry for my delay there. Those of us in Canada just would obviously like to know how Karim Mané is doing so far, and what kind of an adjustment he's making, and what do you just think his prospects are?
So listen, I'm going to throw this out. I grew up like 70 miles. So I grew up in the northern Vermont border. And we used to go up and watch, go to concerts. And I used to go watch Rusty Staub when I was a kid for the Montreal Expos. How about that, in Jerry Park?
That's great.
So I've been Montreal like many times. And we've got two guys, because Kim obviously is from Montreal also. But Kareem is doing fine. This is obviously a big adjustment for any young player, but he is a phenomenal worker and very bright, and he has a natural energy level, when he's on the floor. So, these first few weeks are tough for all of the younger players, but I think he's doing a very good job.
Thank you.
Eric Wilson.
Coach, appreciate your time this afternoon. Just wanted to get your thoughts on Bacon and Cole Anthony, how they're both coming along, and their continuity and rhythm with the team.
I think, Cole was good again today. Monday, I thought Cole was just terrific. Again, it's difficult for him and Chuma because they too, like Kareem, they're not getting summer league or, the September option of workouts or any of that stuff. But one of the advantages Cole had is obviously, his dad playing in the NBA. I think he has an advanced understanding of what NBA basketball is all about. And, I foresee him being in the playing group right away. I just, I love the way he plays. He competes. So I would say everything's been very good. I think Dwayne's getting better and better. He's picking things up quickly. He's playing two positions, both the 2 and the 3. Dwayne has the size, athleticism, and he has a natural skill base. You guys have seen him play, if you remember, at Florida State. He can naturally read the defense, which is a big thing. And there's a lot of younger players that come into our league and they score in college just because they're bigger and stronger, quicker, faster. He has a skill-based game that he can play where he can get to things. And he's got, I would say what he did in college, a very good mid-range game. And he's working very hard on his range shooting now. So, again, I see him too. My vision of where we would be at the end of the year, if we're going to be the team I think we can be, I could see both of those guys being a big part of it.
If I could ask just one quick follow-up, could you speak to the fact that Vooch is not only the all-star of this team, but also a veteran, losing a guy like DJ to Milwaukee? Could you just speak to guys that you kind of expect to step up into that leadership role this season?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, we have some veteran players here who have been here, and we, experienced moderate success, but I think they have a good comfort level. And I think they understand that when we play well, we're good enough to play with anybody. So, Vooch, Aaron Gordon, Evan, T. Ross. But the other guy that I would put into that group who's been very verbal here is, well, two guys. Michael Carter Williams is definitely has a leadership role in this team. But, Markelle is being very verbal too. And Markelle knows exactly what we're doing on offense and defense. And I think that his natural leadership ability as a point guard is coming to the front here also.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Steve, you anticipated my question. I was going to ask, and will ask now. How is Markelle's game any different now compared to the start of last season?
Well, I think first of all, you're going to see he feels so much better physically. You'll see it even the way he's moving. If you go back to the beginning of last season and think about what he had been going through, when we started last year, I don't think any of us were even sure if he could make it through the 82 games, and he's worked so hard on, like his body. Our performance group is terrific, and they've done such a great job with all of our guys, but Markelle's right at the top of that list. And I know he feels better. He feels healthier. And I think also mentally, he now has the experience of, having a successful, really full season under his belt. So I think he's more confident, and, with that confidence, I think more assertive on the floor. But he's really in camp here. He's played really well.
Paul Casanova.
Yeah, hi, Coach. Coming up to this first preseason game, do you have a rotation set or any kind of minute restrictions on anybody or anything like that?
Well, I don't even know who for sure will be ready on Friday. We had a couple guys that were, some guys are like any camp, they were beat up a little bit. James Ennis wasn't able to do the contact stuff today because of a toenail situation. Hopefully that'll only be a couple days. Terrence wasn't able to do anything today or anything contact. So, I really won't know until really after shoot around on Friday. So, Lindsay will tell me who's available to play.
We have time for a few more. Dan Savage.
If getting back to Markelle, last offseason, up until late July or whatever, he could barely even shoot from the free throw line. Could you see a difference in his comfort taking different shots now as he's had an off season, although be it abridged, to work on his shot and be able to shoot from different levels?
Yeah, and you're going to see it when you see him play. His like for instance, his spot up threes, his release point is getting to be back where it used to be. Again, people forget. I think he shot 40% from three at Washington when he was in college, and he shot his threes the same way he shoots his twos here. And if you watch him now, he's shooting the ball with much, much better from three. And, his release point is getting back to the way it used to be. So, you guys will see, but, he's definitely physically better, mentally in a great place. And, he's a significantly better player than he was a year ago.
Back to Josh Robbins.
How much would it open the offense, Steve, if Markelle significantly improves his range shooting?
Oh, for sure. It's going to open things up. Look, he's a lot, he has size. He knows he has a natural basketball IQ, but he brings intangibles to your team. And he's I've told you guys this before. I've recruited DC for years. He's a DC point guard. He knows basketball. He's been taught how to run a team from a young age. And he's very advanced to me in terms of understanding things organizationally, and then also just how to play, how to help his teammates play better. Look, there's a reason why this guy was the #1 pick. And he's got toughness, he's got competitive spirit, and he's got a boatload of talent. And I think it's going to come out here.
Any final questions for Coach? Jamie Say.
Hey, Steve. Just about Mark.
Jamie, you want to throw a Montreal thing in there too? Because you weren't that far from me.
I know. I used to go up to Montreal too. The drinking age is a little bit younger than New York, but we won't go into that one though. Bonjour, Montreal. Anyway, just about Markelle's release point, how you said that it's kind of getting back to normal. Was that just a product of his work in between the bubble ending to now, or was it working with Bruce and the assistants? How does that come to be?
Oh, I think it's a combination again of his work with the performance team. So, he works closely with Samir, and then with in the strength and conditioning, with Nathan Spencer and with Chase. It's all of it. Like his conditioning levels improved greatly, but it gets back to his shoulder is pain free. His wrist is better and his knees better. He had significant injury issues, which, really held him back. And then he works, very diligently with Steve Hetzel and Bruce Kreitzer. So he's doing all of it. He's working with a dietitian. He's hired a chef. I mean, he's a committed guy. And I think he's ready to have a big year, take a big step in his career.
Okay, last question for Coach. We'll go back to Josh Robbins.
Steve, a relatively random question. How have you filled the departure of Rick Higgins? Certainly he was a person you value greatly, and he's gone to Houston for a pretty good opportunity.
No, I'm ecstatic for him, and obviously ecstatic for Steve and Silas, who, was on our staff in Charlotte. And Steven and I have been close for a long time. So it's Rick is one of those guys. I actually we moved Dylan Murphy, who has been working closely with me and with the staff in an analytics role from our analytics department. He's now more full-time coaching. And Dylan was actually an assistant in the G League. He's been a big help to us in our 2 years here. So he's going to do some of what Rick does. And then, to be honest with you, I never realized this. Rick's one of those guys. Every time I saw something or heard something that another staff would do, I would bring Rick in and say, hey, I want you to do this, and I want you to do this. And I'm not exaggerating. He never complained. He just did it. This guy was doing so much stuff, from pregame prep to post-game film work to his work with the players to game plan to the stuff he presented in front of the team. Literally, we had to take the whole video room and rearrange things because it wouldn't be – literally, I was shocked at, I made somebody do that much stuff. The guy's just a workaholic. But, you guys know, I'm better in the mornings. And from Charlotte to here, in Charlotte, that's why I had the problems. I used to be really early. He's the one guy. He was always in before me, always. He's a terrific coach. We're gonna miss him a great deal, but I'm super happy for him too.
Okay, great. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.